everyone. Guess who's back? Okay, with a new episode of Think Responsibly the podcast. Okay, it's been a long time. It's been quite a while since I've recorded. It's been, I would say, a little bit over a year. And I'm happy to be back. You know, honestly, when I started, it was a lot of fun with just like a lot of my friends and family and just getting to know different creators around the city. And I just kind of took a break, traveling, relationships, stuff like that. You know, it happens. But I'm excited to get back to it. And like continue to meet people around the city. So that's what I'm here doing today. We're going to be talking about womanhood and all things encompassing and everything that is under that umbrella. And today I have a very special guest, somebody who is very influential around the city as far as, you know.
Oh, thank you.
I think so, because like when I started, your name rung bells, girl.
Thank
so
you.
A lot of people was telling me about you and your podcast and stuff, and I started to like tap in myself, like I said.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you for having me back.
Thank you for
especially
coming.
for your relaunch. I think that's super huge.
Yes.
Drink to that.
Drink
okay.
to that, girl. Come on.
So congratulations to you. We all need that inspiration sometimes to unplug and
For sure.
you know, come back to something that we absolutely love. And I'm in that stage right now where
Absolutely.
I'm unplugging from a lot of things, exploring. And I'm going to come back to what I love to do. I am grateful to be here, so thank you.
Good. So you're going back to the drawing board. Like,
Going back to the drawing board, just trying
rebranding.
to do something different, something fresh. Because I totally believe in just innovation and creativity and originality.
Right.
And I just feel like we're in this like era of people are just
Podcast.
producing and putting out
Pumping
content
out,
and just
exactly.
whatever it is, even if it's not true to who they are and it's not authentic to who they are.
Yeah.
And
It's like a buzz, a thing of the moment.
yeah,
just like a buzzword,
absolutely. And I just want something that's, you know, fitting to me and makes sense and it's entertaining and it's everything that who I am and what I encompass. So
Right.
yeah.
Cool. Well, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us your name, what you do around the city.
My name is Diamond. I run a brand, Diamond's Dosage, where I give everybody the motherfucking dosage.
Come on, we need that.
The real. I represent for the real women out there that's not afraid to say how they feel, not afraid to be themselves. I speak on a lot of misogyny. I speak on sex. The women are not coming out here. I speak on I speak on career, pivoting, adapting. I speak on just everything of what it feels like to be a millennial woman and how to navigate our life in that way.
Yes. So, and that's perfect. You know, I think because you've been out here you've been podcasting since before it became a thing.
Very popular. Can we talk about that for a second?
Yes. I mean, if
I don't want to toot my own horn,
but you have been, and I'm a witness.
Thank you.
Before it was a thing, I was definitely listening to like the shorter episodes you would put on Spotify, and just like you said, it was a dose of the real.
Yeah.
Just every week, you know, whatever you need. So we
Yes.
can definitely talk about it. I don't know why it's becoming a thing. Maybe it's like the viral. It's the quickest way to become viral, just to like say something crazy and now you viral because you have a podcast.
Yeah.
So you can do that every week if
Yeah.
you wanted to. You know, you might not even believe it. You just saying something crazy because you know it's like it'll spark interest.
Yeah,
and get your views.
absolutely. Like I said, I think we're definitely in like a clickbait type of era
sure.
right now. And I
Clout
do
chasey.
think it's going to fizz out because a lot of people don't have the commitment to podcasting or the commitment to even creating, or they're not even a natural creator. And I think that's okay. Like, we all have our skills, we all have our purpose. And I really just wish people would find their lane, because when I'm like on social media and looking at these content creators, it really be given, who are you? Like, people are getting their personalities from social media. And I'm like, damn, like that's a little crazy to me, because when I first started podcasting, there was no women that were talking like me. It was just really original to me. And this is no shade to anybody. It's just something that I've observed. Like a lot of content creation that's coming out is just kind of repetitive and regurgitated information.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't read. A lot of people don't have knowledge on the things they're even talking about. And it's just like insane to me. Like,
Right,
please
exactly.
put the mics down, especially the men.
Yeah.
Put the mics down. We're tired, y'all. So, and it's like really disrespectful for people that actually have a purpose.
Exactly. And know what they talking about. Exactly.
Because it's becoming so oversaturated. But I definitely think we're in that era now. I do see it shifting for people that are like not as motivated or dedicated to it, for sure.
Exactly. And it feels like it's a lot of just the gender wars going on. You know, I feel like
$200 dates.
Oh,
we tired.
Man, I went to Cheesecake Factory the other day and had
and people
a ball.
need to please. You're gonna be forever lonely if you're getting your dating advice from social media. You're gonna be forever lonely.
Yeah. So let's start there, okay? Because let's start with the whole pick me thing. So us saying it's nothing wrong with a $200 or less date, or it ain't nothing wrong with Cheesecake Factory. What is your take on the whole like pick me thing? Is that a real thing, or is it not as bad as they, you know?
I feel like pick me's like, I'm not a pick me. I don't advocate for pick me women at all. But I feel like it's a difference between just being a rational, logical woman and dating versus being like a transactional woman who's like, look, you got to get my hair done before we go on a date.
Right.
Or you got to pay for my babysitter before we go on a date. Or you got to give me money. Or, you know, I think that we have to find the balance and boundaries and knowing what to accept as women. Because a lot of women do accept less than what they're worth. And that pisses me off because you don't even know you're worth more. Exactly. Like, but I think like when it comes down to going out to Cheesecake Factory or going out to restaurants that are similar, I think it's nonsense. It's nonsense. I think women take social media advice way too serious and do what makes you happy. Like, can we get back to liking people for just liking them? Yeah. Because I'm gonna be honest, I've dated men that have done a lot for me and took me places, and did I even like him? I'm gonna sip to that one.
You know?
But I just want to find like that person that I actually like and I can call a friend, and I want women to get back to that, like
wanting to be around the man
and stop doing this transactional shit. Like, oh, you might as well sell your coochie at this point. So it's just,
and that's what it is. A lot of people don't want to call it that, but essentially, like that's what it is because you know men are probably figuring out like, yeah, I have money. But oh shit, women have money too, so now I have to actually be likable. You know,
and the personality does not be in the room for a lot of men.
Exactly,
like, a lot of men don't. But you know, a lot of men do lead with money. So it's like when you lead with money, what do you expect a woman to do? Right. She's gonna be like, "Where's the funds?"
Exactly. If you don't have anything else, you know. So it's just us getting back to, like you said, not taking our relationship and dating advice from social media and even just who we are. You know, how many times in the last month have you ran into somebody who was like, it's the op for me, it's this for me, you know, and it's just like, okay, it's just continuous like social media buzzwords.
I'm tired. I'm so tired.
Exactly. So are you in like the dating phase now?
No.
I feel you.
I hope none of the people I'm dating is watching. Because it's like I'm not really focused on dating right now. I'm talking to people, but it's not like my main priority right now. Like honestly, my main priority right now is my career and me just leveling up and doing the things that I'm passionate about and I love. Absolutely. And if I'm being focused on dating, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's a little distracting, especially if you're like trying to have discernment and figure things out and weed this person out, and I don't know, it's just a lot. So I don't put a lot of pressure on dating, but I definitely do like talk to people here and there and like go out and stuff like that. And
I think that's a good way to look at it because you spoke a lot about purpose. So it's like I feel like if you're going towards your purpose, that person might find you or you might find them like along the way versus if you're trying to put a lot of emphasis on he has to do this, he has to do this.
We attract, we don't chase. And like that's the phase I'm in now. Like my 20s, Lord Jesus, bless the 20s, Lord. Bless it.
I'm on my way out. I'm on my way out, girl. Yes.
But the 20s was a lot of unpacking, a lot of unlearning, a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of
healing.
Just knowing who I am as a woman and knowing what I deserve and what needs and wants and all of that. Yeah. And it's a blessing too at the same time. When we're going through something, we're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
It's
the end of the
literally.
world.
Yes. And we're thinking like we're down on our luck, back against the wind. You know, like we really just be feeling like we're not gonna make it out. We're not gonna make it out. But
exactly. It's a big revelation. Yes. Now in hindsight.
Absolutely. In hindsight, it's a blessing. Hindsight is a blessing.
For me, I think I'm almost out of my 20s, and I think a lot of the things that I used to put a lot of emphasis on was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit of a people pleaser because I love just like, I like life to just life as it normally would. I don't need your help messing it up or create no extra, turmoil for me. So I did tend to do that, but now I can kind of see like how it's not good for me. It's not good for them. I'm
sorry to say this, to bring astrology in this, but Libra placements, please stop bending backwards for people. Please. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it there.
I'm gonna leave it there.
Put yourself first, sweetie.
Yeah, and I've been doing that too. So that's just one of the things I think a lot of us exiting our 20s, we are starting to like see, like pick apart ourselves almost, just to kind of see like what we used to do that was kind of like self-detrimental,
self-sabotaging.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I think a lot of that was just a little bit of like people pleasing. Like, what do you think was one of your biggest revelations or your epiphany? Like, okay, in my 30s, I'm not doing this anymore.
Boundaries
okay.
have always been like this big thing for me, because just knowing, like allowing stuff more than once, and like knowing that it was wrong
that first time.
Knowing that it was a red flag, but it felt like 6 flags.
But you had fun though.
I had fun. It might have been a little toxic, but knowing that I can no longer do that. I can no longer just be okay with allowing something that I don't like and letting it happen again and again and again, and just nipping that shit in the bud right away.
Even with like friendships, relationships and everything. So like, as like in womanhood, how do you think you define friendships, and like, what do you think like a friendship should like entail?
This is good, girl. You get into the nitty gritty. Let me take a drink. When it comes to friendships, I always advocate for friendships, because I do feel like I have found like my girls, my tribe, like the girls that I can talk to about anything and do anything with. Like, we can go to the club, we can go to church, we can just have fun and just be ourselves and be authentic. And I have found my tribe. But that comes with a lot of discernment and weeding people out, like I said previously, even when it comes to dating. Friendship is just people that you can grow with, people that absolutely have your best interest at heart. No matter if they have to tell you the truth, and that's what you need to hear at that moment. Let's get better at accepting the truth from our friends, okay?
And trusting that it's coming from a place
of love
and not attacking
and good attention.
Exactly.
But I have dealt with some women that are weird. What's the word?
Frenemy?
Yes.
Frenemy, yeah.
Thank you.
I got you.
I've dealt with that, and it's just like, sometimes women want to get close to you to soak up the energy, to suck up the vibes, to be you. And I've dealt with that weird stuff before. I've dealt with women who befriended me and then went and befriended somebody that doesn't like me. I've dealt with all of that. So, my friends have been friends since college. I'm just a social person. I'm a friendly person.
I can tell.
I befriend people, and that's something I learned. I was very gullible to certain people.
Yeah, exactly.
Very gullible, just thinking that everybody, I love Diamond. Thinking everybody likes me, and everybody not your friend. Your mama didn't lie when she said it. Everybody's not your friend.
Yeah, exactly. Man.
What about you?
Even that is just a lot to unpack. So for me personally, like, I have a real tight knit, like, it's like a circle, then it's another circle. You know what I mean? Like, my tight circle, like, we've known each other over 10 years.
Right.
So we've been locked in since high school, and I mean, we got each other's, like, just our secrets and the stuff we really want to say that we just kind of keep, privy to us. And then I have like my college friends, or like my just associates that I've known from high school, and then like the friends that I've, came across now. Whether that just be like around the city or just making friends like in the creative space and stuff like that. But for me, I think the name of the game is grace and just honesty. So like, a lot of people want to like continue to like judge their friends. My friend, she better do this, so she ain't my friend.
Let's speak on that.
I don't want you to feel like you on death row. I don't want you to feel like that.
It's real strict around here. Damn, babe. It's real strict.
I need to loosen up here. I'm
and I don't want to ever feel like that in any relationship. Like, I can't be myself and be who I am because you're judging me.
Exactly.
That has been another thing too. Like, damn, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't just show up as me. Like, we have to start loving people where they're at. And if you're not okay with that behavior or what they're doing, get out of the friendship, get out of the relationship.
Yeah, because then you'll just start to be a little bit condescending towards them.
Judge Judy, and nobody wants to judge Judy in their life.
And you gonna run everybody off doing
literally.
that. So I like grace. I like them. So like a lot of my friends, they live in different states. So it's just like, we don't have to talk every day, but the minute we do, you pull up or you call me, we could talk for hours, and I don't want you to feel like you have to do this and you have to show up. If you can't, the kids is this or money is crazy here, cool. I'm not going to.
We just got to know who people are at their core.
Yeah. Like, I know your heart. Yeah, I know your heart.
Some girls be like, oh, you can't make this. Oh, you're cut off. You're cut. Girls don't be taking they take their birthday very seriously.
Very seriously.
You don't make a girl's birthday dinner.
Did you know you can't be cute on your friend's birthday no more?
Girl.
You can't be cute.
You can't outdress the birthday girl.
You got to show up in a bonnet now or some
Lord
slides.
bless it.
It's crazy. So yeah, I think friendship should just be a lot of grace and honesty. Like you said.
Grace, honesty, and growth. I think people forget the part where we're so many different people in different seasons. Like, I am not who I was yesterday, and not to be cliche, but that's the truth. Like, we have to acknowledge when our friend is growing. We have to acknowledge when they're stagnant. Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't have that type of insight when it comes to relationships, because a lot of people take things personal. That was me too. I would take a lot of things personal, thinking that everything was about me, and she did this because it was a personal attack to me, and it's all about me. But people are dealing with their own shit, and they're living their life through their own experiences, their own perspectives, and we have to acknowledge that we're doing the same thing, and everything is not meant to be a personal thing.
It's not a personal attack. And just like look at it at that point first.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, so you talk a lot about your career, right? So where do you see yourself? Like, where does Diamond see herself?
Wait, I wasn't ready for this question.
Where are we going with this? Well, okay, so I'll take a little sauce off of it.
I'm fine with that. I'm just talking. Career-wise, I definitely see myself being a full-time entrepreneur. Yeah. I am working with the youth right now, doing college, post-secondary work, and getting them resources for college. Oh, really? But on the other hand, I am doing real estate. I'm in the course of that. And I'm also doing, my podcast, blogging, hosting. I love hosting. That's in the stage I am right now.
I have seen that too.
Yeah. And I just want to be a full-time entrepreneur. I write ebooks, I do blogs, I do all of that. And I just want to do that and maximize that to another level where it's sufficient and it's making its own money, and I'm selling merch and I'm having events and it's just funding itself at that point.
Exactly. Where you don't have to be tied down to one thing. Yeah. Okay. So you are a jack of all trades.
I try to be.
Or should I say a Jackie of all trades?
A Jackie. I like that. I like that.
Because I think it's important to have a lot of different things going on. Like, if I like podcasting, I don't want to necessarily be stationed to that.
You know what I heard? They say that podcasting should just be like an element of whatever you're doing. And that makes sense for me too, because at the time I was like, oh, podcasting is my thing. I love it. This is what's going to happen. And I'm kind of deterring from that a little bit now, but everyone that has a business should have a podcast, essentially.
Right. And that makes sense, because on a podcast, like you were saying, you should be reading. You should be knowing what you're talking about. So if you're not out there living and experiencing these things, it's like, what do you have to talk about if you just solely focusing on recording all the time? You got to go out and live and have something to talk about.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you were asking me about my sign. You done asked. Stop, my boy.
Everybody that knows me, they're like, girl, I'm so tired of you with this astrology stuff. But astrology is just very interesting to me. It's a language to me. Okay. And I do study it a bit.
You do? Okay. So yes, I'm a Virgo, and I believe I have a Libra moon, Scorpio rising. Okay. So as far as friendships and dating, I'll start with friendships. So who are you think the zodiac are really good friends, women that are really good friends?
Women that are really good friends?
Yeah. What are their zodiac signs?
See, it's a broad question, because astrology is so broad
itself,
and it's very detailed. We have a whole birth chart. So I'm a Sagittarius. Right. We usually get along with other air and fire signs. Okay. But I have a Virgo moon. So my closest friends to me are earth and water placements, because they tend to cater to my moon sign, which the moon is emotions.
Right. Oh,
so
for sure.
I would definitely say like it just depends. So you can't really give a solid answer, but usually the elements that go mesh well together are water and earth, and then fire and air.
Got you. And you probably wouldn't believe this. My best friends that I was telling you about, we're all earth signs.
See,
we're all Virgos.
It just makes sense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It makes sense. I know y'all over there crazy, analytical.
Not even that, girl, just crazy. Cause we just be laughing.
See, the thing that people think about Virgos, I'm sorry to bring Jay to pick it up.
Oh man,
but
she's
a Virgo. Virgos are very layered people. See, when you
so is Beyonce.
Yeah. When you look at a Virgo, you might think, oh, they're strict and they're all about their work and they're analytical and they're logical. But these people have layers like an onion. Like they have multiple personalities because they're a mutable sign. They like to adapt and flow and do different things, and they're just like these people that everything is not meets the eye with a Virgo. So you have to watch those Virgos out there.
I agree. We definitely hide ourselves. Because we're very analytical and observant. We walk into a space and we like, okay, what's going on over here? You won't get everything at once. I
love how reserved Virgos are. I do.
We can be very reserved until we meet like our tribe, and it's like because we're very judgmental, whether we want to admit it or not.
Speak on it, because I was just tweeting about this, and they like, no, we not. I said Virgos and Scorpios are judgmental, and that is true.
We are. And it can be good and bad judgments, but it's judgment like.
It's usually the truth. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's
usually the truth.
It's not coming from a bad place. It's like, I don't like what y'all doing over there. Y'all can do that, but I'm gonna go
live my life.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do something else over here. But sometimes it comes off as a very brutal truth. And sometimes it can be unnecessary. It can be not even asked for. But like being like an earth sign, I feel like I really mesh with other earth signs and water signs.
It makes that makes total sense though, because that's how it's
like
meant to be, kind of. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know much about it, but when people ask me, I say I'm a Virgo, and I always get, I always get
Lord,
that.
I get that too from Sagittarius women. But Sagittarius women, I will say, are insane.
They're very strong.
We're insane. We're strong. We're opinionated.
Yeah.
We're fire. Like, you play with us, you might get burnt.
Okay.
We have a crazy mouth. Our mouth is very blunt. But we're also like these big-hearted people who love to.
So it comes from a good place.
Yeah. Like, we love to give love. We have a bad rep for being mean girls. That ain't true. I'm looking right at the camera. We're not mean girls. We just don't fuck with us. Don't rub me the wrong way. You won't have to feel my wrath. Yeah. That's all.
Okay. I feel you, girl. And this is just a lot, like having to be opinionated, as women,
a black woman.
As black women, and being very opinionated. I seen JT say this.
Say it. I know you're about to get to.
She said, the darker you are, the soft-spoken, the quieter you have to be, because then when you're opinionated, you loud, you're very vocal. Now you're aggressive.
Colorism.
Now you're aggressive.
I don't think people understand like the gravity of how we've been so conditioned to colorism, especially as black people within our own community. Like it was even this girl only posting light-skinned girls on her page, and she's a hairstylist. Right. She's only posting light-skinned girls. She's like, that's what gets my most engagement. I can't help that. This is what I'm going to continue to do to get the engagement. And I wasn't even shocked. Colorism doesn't even shock me anymore at this point, but because I've lived it, I've dealt with it, I've experienced it, and I just can't stand the fact that when dark-skinned black women speak on colorism, they're bitter or they're emotional or they're angry. Like, and that bothers me. So I'm really do appreciate JT for speaking on that, even though she did delete the TikTok, which I feel why she did it, because but the backlash. It's something that still needs to be talked about. It's like racism. It will never go anywhere until we actually address the elephant in the room. Right. And a lot of people want us to stop talking about colorism, and I'm like, why? Why do we have to stop talking about something that has shaped us? A lot of dark-skinned women speak about it now, and they're comfortable. Because I wish we had this type of community previously.
Because it's hard to ignore at this point.
Yeah, it's hard to ignore. And it's just everywhere. It's in our music. I like Redbones. I like this.
Exactly.
And it's like, But what about us? What about the dark skinned baddies?
His name Raw 49. He kind of, you know.
Okay, shout out to Raw 49. Okay,
he said something.
If she ain't dark skinned and petite, she is not my type.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
But it is a thing, and you know what? I do talk about it because it is a thing, but at the same time, it's like I'm gonna just go where the love is at because I know people that don't bring that up to me, you know what I mean? And I also know what that looks like because I've been grown, you know, and I've been young and in school, and I know what that's like. I've heard the comments, whether they meant it to be like, you know, real malicious or not.
They're conditioned.
Yeah, it's just like
even how we just see beauty. The thing is, colorism isn't only like a beauty scope. I think that's like the surface of colorism. Colorism comes in when you're applying for a job or when you're trying to get health care. Like it's infiltrated in all of our systems, our institutions.
Absolutely.
It's like racism. It's like, it's literally everywhere. And if you're a darker skinned Black woman or even a Black man, sometimes you do get discriminated against. And we have a different experience than most people. We have navigated life differently from most people. And I just want people to stop calling dark-skinned women bitter because that's not true. It's just our experiences. It's our life. It's what we have to deal with.
Exactly. And, you know, it's not about us just saying something because we're complaining. It's just us, like, talking about, like, how we feel and how we expect things to change. It shouldn't be a problem. If I'm saying this is bothering me, I shouldn't get attitude for it or backlash for it because I'm speaking about how I feel.
Especially as a woman who, like yourself, who has a podcast and who is opinionated and who is not just like a soft-spoken person and passive aggressive. Like, you're going to get it the worst. Yeah. You're going to get it the worst.
And I work in corporate America. I work in corporate America.
They'd be like, can I touch your hair?
Oh, girl, don't get me started. I went to work one day. I had the twist out.
Oh, child.
So I had the big poofy, you know, 2-strand twist. I unraveled them. Okay, bam. We out here like Corbin Blue or something, you know. So, and then you know, we always changing it. It's a quick weave here. It's a sew-in. It's braids, you know. So I wear my hair out, and then this guy, he's like, "Ooh, can I touch your hair?" And the hand, girl, the hand. I'm just like, I know you never did this to nobody else.
Sir.
You don't just go around petting people, you know? Right. But it's just like those like little microaggressions. And I'm open to like, I don't know if you even know how offensive that is, you know? Offensive. So it's kind of like, it's almost like we're being expected to teach these things to people while also being patient, living it and being patient enough to educate while not exploding on people, you know. But it's like, regardless, this is how I feel, you know, and I shouldn't be, you know.
Speak on that. Regardless of what your intentions was, I still feel the way that I feel. And I think
it's valid,
our feelings are valid. Nobody can tell us how to feel. Nobody can tell us what we felt was wrong or right. Yeah. You were right for how you were feeling. And I think we do need to have a little bit more grace. I won't have grace with bigots, though. That's one thing I won't do. But I will have grace with people that are receptive and willing to learn and understand. And like, I will have that grace with them. Exactly. But I went to an all-white school from 5th to 8th grade. And that was tough because I was like one or three of the Black girls there. And that happened often. This one dude was like, I came with braids. He's like, how did you get those in your head? I'm just like, bless it, Lord, bless it. But
I think, what happened? How did you
do that? But I think we just have to know how to navigate it, like you said. And like, I think grace is definitely the key word when it comes to it.
Yeah, because some people just genuinely don't know.
Yeah. And then I won't have much grace for idiots.
Like you said, it's just the disrespect. And I think we're old enough now to like know the difference.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because if I tell you what it is and what it ain't, and you still want to, you know, then it's like, all right, well, we going there then.
Right. Right. Because once I tell you once, that should be enough.
Exactly. So that just goes into like our segue into like you said, you speak a lot about like misogyny. So like, obviously it's something that's
that watermelon got some bite.
That little cute to it. Yeah. So it's integrated, I'm sure, into like a lot of our lives as women, whether it's our music that we listen to, movies and film, our careers and beauty standards and stuff like that. So what about misogyny is like where does that come from for you? Like, where you're so passionate about talking about it on your pod?
For me, misogyny just comes from watching women humble themselves, or watching women scour on the floor for the male validation and male gaze. Hate that for women. When I tell you I hate that for women, I hate it. Because at the end of the day, I really want, this is a little off key, but I really want more women to be more receptive of more women. Every time a woman sees a woman, it's immediately competition.
Yeah,
she's immediately sizing
so
the woman up. She's immediately seeing how the woman looks, what she has on.
That's true.
She's immediately sizing the woman up. And that is misogyny. And a lot of women don't understand, like,
that's so true.
We're competing with each other for male validation.
And that men ain't...
Girl, these men can't even count to 10, Che. But that kills me. And I just want more women to just be like, fuck the men. I'm a woman, first and foremost.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stand with women. But we don't have that. We don't have that in our everyday life, because we have these women that are grasping for straws and desperate for male gaze and desperate for, just like I said, like male attention, the validation of men. And I think that is almost triggering to me, because it's like, damn, who are you as a woman and your identity?
Yeah.
Like, who are you?
I can't even reach you.
I can't even gauge who you are as a person, because you're so thirsty for men.
And
don't get me wrong, I love men. I love good men. I love men that have good intentions with women, right? But I think misogyny just comes to it comes to a head when it's infiltrated in our lives, our everyday lives, and we don't even know it. We don't even know it. That's how it has really impacted us. It's almost like colorism. It's like a social issue, of course.
For sure.
And I want to dismantle it, and I will never stop speaking on how there needs to be better men out here. And let me just speak on this quickly, because
girl.
I was just having this conversation with one of my homies, Terry.
Oh.
And shout out to Terry, Roasting Podcast out there.
FC Network. How y'all doing?
And we were just talking about, this girl had made a tweet. She said, they're always talking about how they're saying women need to pick better men, right? Pick better men, pick better men. And it's like, girl, I thought he liked me, girl. I thought I did pick a good one until I found out I was at the motherfucking circus, right? So what I was having a conversation with Terry with was, we don't have good pickings because there's not a good pot to pick from. And he didn't really understand what I was saying. I know we should be accountable in the partners that we pick, and the partners that we pick are a reflection of ourselves, and what we allow is a reflection of ourselves. But it's like, when you have 5 bad apples and only one is good, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I think men have been conditioned a certain way to be misogynistic, to be these stoic people who can't tap into their emotional intelligence, to be these people who are not vulnerable, to be these men who are like, yeah, I just fucked her, I hit that. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's just, men have been conditioned a certain way, and I almost feel bad for them, because I know they be crying in the corner sometimes. I know men just go and hide and cry sometimes, and they can't even really express that. But it's because they've been conditioned to hyper masculinity.
Yeah.
And
they don't have
that hyper masculinity projects down to women and how they treat women and all of that. So it's just a lot of...
It's a big circle.
Yeah.
Right? It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a cycled thing of misogyny, where it might start with these,
it starts with boys don't cry. Why you crying? Be a man. It starts with that.
And then, like, in their friendships, if they if they crying, or if they soft in their friendships, then it's like they soft and you sweet and all of this. And now they got to look hard, because, and then it's a circle, because it starts with and then it goes to their friendships. And then, okay, the girls coming around, and then the girls want to be around the hard boys, and they don't want to be around the soft. Oh, you this, you soft,
Yes,
so now they gotta look extra hard for the women. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I don't want no soft ass men. And I don't want, and then now he is hiding his emotions. Now he don't want to, like, open up to you and stuff like that. Now he always with his friends who he can be around, because the women don't want to accept their emotions and stuff like that, and they don't want to stand up to their boys when their boys are like showing misogynistic signs against their girls. They don't.
Let's talk about men holding other men accountable.
That needs to happen.
P. Diddy.
Ooh.
P. Diddy, where you at? The men that were around P. Diddy.
Let me crack this one open.
We have to start. I don't care. Like, as a woman, I'm going to hold you accountable. If you did some fucked up shit, I just want men to start doing that. Like, just hold your homies accountable. Hold your homies accountable.
Because I'm going to speak on this pod because like obviously we feel how we feel about that situation. You know what I mean? But we're gonna talk allegations for, I guess, legal purposes, right?
Absolutely.
So if that were to happen, you gotta say like there's people who witnessed it, because respectfully, it seems like a lot of those people who were around have either agreed or just like spoken circles,
money,
like, you know, money,
power,
and
control, yeah,
greed, you know, threats, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it's just like, yeah, we got to hold each other accountable, because that's the extent that it can get, where people are being sexually assaulted and raped and murdered, you know what I mean? And things like that. So we do have to like hold people accountable, because that's how far it can get.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And a lot of women, we have to just like be there for each other in those spaces, you know, and that's the reason why we can't hold male validation so high, because if we were to empower each other a little bit more, we won't seek these men's validation and we won't accept the bottom tier treatment from them.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because the first time that first little red flag happened, we out of there. You know, like, girlfriend, we out of there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you know what? I do see the dynamic with women changing, and I do give social media their credits to that.
Yes.
Because a lot of women don't even know what they're worth or what they deserve. And I think social media has gave women a little bit more insight on how you're actually supposed to be treated as a woman, how you're supposed to be loved on and gifted and just taken care of and reassured and things like that. But at the same time, it does bring out the pick-me's. It does. It brings out the pick-me's. But I think we are evolving.
What exactly brings out the
pick-me's? Like the dating conversations.
The Diddy?
Yeah. Like, not dating.
Oh, dating.
Dating conversations. Yeah. Like, I saw one girl say she would be okay with, like, this is petty. But I just saw one girl say that she would be okay with, like, a walk for a date. And it's like, why are you doing that? Why are you taking a walk for a date? That's not,
these they don't think we,
you know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, girl, like, girl, okay. Girl. We have to have some type of balance when it just comes to being a woman and what we will and what we won't accept, because these men, they pursue us. They pursue us.
Yeah.
And it's like, one thing I'm not going to do is try to prove my worth to a man who has pursued me. You saw me, you liked me. You need to prove your worth to me.
Okay.
That's how I feel as a woman.
Right.
I 100% stand on women being the prize. 100%.
Oh, for sure. I think that's okay. If a man is fighting you on being the prize, I feel like he
might be at them Diddy parties.
To take that house, take that mansion. Yeah, we don't want him. So I think it's okay, because I see a lot of men, like my male friends who are married and stuff like that. They say like, I'm cool with the traditional. I provide. I make sure everything. I make sure my wife and kid. I make sure they straight. You know, it's just a lot of the vice versa. You know what I mean? Nobody cares for traditional values, and I don't even like the word traditional, but it's like, if it's just something that works, it's just something that works.
Yeah, when it comes to taking out the garbage and standing in line at the club, you can call me a woman, okay? I can't do the double standards. Like,
I'm not taking out no trash.
I'm not doing that. It's just some double standards that I love. I'm not gonna lie.
Open my door, please.
Be a chivalrous man.
You know,
like, it's some things,
bags.
some double standards that I'm really still rocking with. I'm still rocking with some of them double standards.
Exactly. I'm okay with some of those. Yeah.
But I think the traditional conversation is interesting too, because you can't be like a modern 2023 woman. I'm just gonna be real. You can't be a modern 2023 woman and expect a traditional man, because if you're not in the house cooking, cleaning, and wiping everything in between, I just feel like people need to find the person that works for them, because I know who I am. I am like a free spirit. I not gonna be in the house every weekend cooking and cleaning. That's just not my motto. Like, that's not my thing. But I can find a man that is okay with that. And I think a lot of times, like these dating memes and these Justin LA boy who always steals my content, he always posting about like, you know, stuff like this, and like how women always want this type of man and they don't want to be this type of woman. Yeah. I just think people need to just do what works for them and find out what works for them.
That's true. When I was dating, it was pretty much that same thing, that same like sentiment. When you really X out the popular memes and the dating memes and stuff, you can get around that. You know, like, what do you really, you know, if you're on a date, like, what do you really think about this? Like, for real, like, what do you really want? And it's just asking the right questions too, you know, because you don't even, as like, some men don't even know what they want. They just letting social media tell them what they want. And women too, you know, you might be more of an emotional woman where you just want somebody who's funny, who's confident, you know, who is like adventurous, but he might not have all of that. So that brings me to this question. How do you feel about what Tyler Perry said?
Medea. Medea. Oh my God, I almost said something in your podcast, but I'm gonna save it for my I respect Tyler Perry as a businessman. I respect him as a creator.
Hallelujah.
It goes that far for me. He's talking about some women need to settle for a man that just pays the light bill. Tyler Perry, you and your man can go do that. I can't do it as a woman. I'm not going to be the head hunter of my house. As dominant as I am, as strong as I am, I still want me a very masculine man who provides.
Same.
I don't care. Like, you're not going to be able to come in my face tomorrow, you're going to pay the light bill. If you're going to do that, you're going to have some dick on you. You gotta have that. Okay? But
that's going to make me say,
I think what he said reflects in his content. Like, look at all his movies. It's always these black women self-sacrificing themselves for the male gaze. Every single time. Every single time it's black women sacrificing themselves. Yeah. And I think something has internalized in him to the point where he thinks that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah.
And he think that's like the answer to black love.
And
like,
I'm totally against him on that. But I do respect him. I just watched his documentary. I respect him as a businessman, as a hustler, as a creator. I respect him in that aspect. But I don't want no dating advice from Medea. I don't want no dating advice from Medea.
We gonna leave it where it's at.
I'm gonna leave him.
It goes back to our point. Use discernment with the advice that you
Can we
take.
talk about discernment in just general and like who we get our information from?
Absolutely.
Right? Because look at Derek Jackson. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Oh, I can't. Okay.
This man had a whole dating blog.
I mean, in his car going in, veins popping out. Men, you need to be doing this. Women, you need
cheating on his wife the entire time. We have to have our discernment when it comes to eating. The word of the day is discernment.
Yes. It's, what is it? The messenger is just as important as the message.
Speak on it.
Because if you just, and that's the thing, that's the thing that comes with the internet. You know what I mean? It's just, this is how people are making their living. So they doing literally whatever they can to do this. They finding their lane, and whether it's true to them
and we
or
have
not.
Really susceptible and vulnerable people out here.
Yeah, exactly.
Who don't read, like I said earlier, who don't research for themselves, who don't think for themselves.
Exactly.
So they're gonna get their people.
So man, like, okay, so we've misogyny and, you know, all these things in dating. We have to, as women, like, just take some we got to take a step back sometimes, because life can be, you know, just a lot, you know, just all the content we consume on a regular basis, the people we encounter.
Yes, absolutely.
The colorism, the misogyny, you know, all these things. Like, do you do a lot of like self-care yourself? Like, do you do a lot of self-preservation? Like,
you know what? I have a friend that's a Scorpio, and she has taught me the importance of self-preservation and always putting yourself first. As cliche as that sounds, because I know we're like in this era of like, oh, self-care and putting yourself first and bubble baths. And I don't think people understand like what self-care actually means. And like, it's actually ugly. Like, it's actually really ugly to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, damn, I accepted this. Am I a bum bitch? Like, you know, we have to really just unpack. And I've been doing a lot of unpacking, and I think that is my definition of self-care, because I can be okay with looking myself in the mirror and knowing that I've dealt with some shit, I've allowed some shit, but I'm still that bitch, because I came over that and I learned from that. And I think a lot of people don't take their lessons and evaluate them. And I think that's key to self-care.
You gotta be self-aware.
Yeah. Another thing that I do for self-care is my rose toy.
Ooh.
Next conversation.
You can't just do that and then go to the next, you know. Girl,
I'm just talking shit.
That rose will do it. You'll be like, I don't need no man.
They call him the Quan Rose. Jackson. But no, self-care is important, especially as a woman. And, you know, I'm not a mom, but I see so many moms tie their identity to their child and
mothers,
to being nurturing and all of this. And I respect mothers tenfold, but one thing about me, I always stand for having your own identity, putting yourself first, and pivoting when it's time to pivot.
Yeah, and you should, because I think as people, we're just continuously like just evolving.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
know? It's always something
if you're aware,
new.
though.
If you're aware, you know, sometimes I'm in this bag where I think I'm like this hip hop historian, where I'm like suddenly listening to DMX. Now I'm just this R&B head where I love some Neo. So you know, we just
a layered person.
Exactly. We just like gotta like keep continuing to like push our boundaries so we can grow, and being around people who do hold us accountable. You know what I mean? I'm okay with you saying, hey, Coco girl, you said this and I ain't really like that, you know, or you tend to do this to yourself. You know what I mean? Like I'm open to that. So it's good to be like self-aware, and like I think self-care, like you said, it can be ugly because it's saying no to some people.
Ooh, speak on it.
You usually say yes to, and they used to it. Now you the problem if you say no, you know. So it's like getting into those those hardships too. You know what I mean? And just kind of investing in yourself. That might hurt your pockets, but it feels good to just go get some good skincare.
Let's talk about that, because when you invest in yourself, you feel better. You attract different people. You attract different minds. Like people, it might be like surface level to certain people, but investing in yourself really matters. Right, it really, really does matter.
Yeah, I used to be. Well, of course, I was a college student, so like, you know, my money was going to food and books. You know, so like now I'm okay with saying like, I'm going to go spend this at the gym, you know, make sure I'm spending this much for my monthly membership, or I'm spending this much on makeup or skincare, you know,
what comes first for me is skincare and makeup.
Hello.
Sorry.
You know,
everything else is after that.
Exactly.
And taking care of my body, like just making sure, because we're getting older.
Yeah.
We want to take care of our bodies. You got, as an able-bodied person, you need to be doing some type of exercise, even if it's walking.
And
I'm going to continue to advocate for that.
For sure.
It's been proven that people that exercise live longer lives, healthier lives.
Eating healthier, you know, except on the weekends, because we all got a brunch.
Yeah, girl, I be going crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
I be needing a brunch a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
But, so, and aside from like our bodies and stuff like that, you know, invest in a good toy, because he's apparently.
She ain't wrong.
I did a podcast probably about a year ago, and I was giving out stats about orgasms.
Can we please talk about it?
And it was so funny.
I want to talk about how men just be bragging about fucking all these bitches. Excuse my language. Sometimes I got to say it like that. They be fucking bragging about it, right? And can't even fuck or make a woman come.
And they think
learn about the vagina, fellas, please.
They think they going crazy, and you don't hear the woman because you don't know.
Yeah,
they don't know if we've.
Women gotta stop faking it.
Right.
Women gotta stop allowing that and faking it.
Yeah, because it's gonna inflate their ego.
I will laugh at you. I'm not even being funny right now. Like I've laughed at. Okay, I'm gonna just stop talking. But please know what y'all like sexually, because I think people think about sex as a taboo. And sex is not a taboo. It's something that we're naturally designed to do, something that we're naturally designed to enjoy pleasure. Like,
right.
And we have to, don't just be hunching to hunch, like actually enjoy it.
Right. Diamond, have you laughed at somebody?
Oh my God.
You laughed at somebody in his face mid-pump?
Sips water. Girl. Wait, this is not water.
Yes.
Sips alcohol.
Sips Costa Rosé. So, I mean, it's something we definitely got to stop doing.
I just can't stand the fact that men are egotistical when they can't even make a woman orgasm. I think that's the least thing you can do as a man.
Yeah, because their thing, and it's super immature. And this is just my guess, because I don't want to get on here and say I know men. But my thing is like, probably they're just like, well, I hit, so
yeah,
you know, and that's.
But we have to redefine that too, because I think a lot of men think of sex as something that they do to a woman instead of like with a woman.
Yeah.
Even like the language surrounding sex is like, I hit that, I beat that up, I killed the pussy.
Right.
Why is it so vulgar in that nature?
And why is it
like,
so aggressive?
damn, can you make love to the coochie?
Yeah.
But
Be
it's
gentle
always,
with her.
it's always like and this new thing that these new rappers are saying, I stabbed the pussy. I'm just like, whoa, that's
Wow, I
too
ain't
much
even
for
heard
me.
that
That's
one.
too much for me.
Auntie ain't heard that one.
Yeah, and it's always like this demeaning language when it comes to pleasing a woman. And I think we should redefine that as well. Like,
for sure. Like, we both here for a reason.
yeah, we're both here for a reason. I like to have sex just as much as you.
Yeah.
And I don't think men even know that. Like,
yeah.
Women like to fuck. Okay?
I don't know. So I'm not an expert on those things, but I will say
on sex?
Foreplay. Yeah, not on sex, but like,
You sure? I'm just
not
playing.
on camera.
That's that Virgo shit.
Real sneaky.
Okay, like Beyonce, real private. Go ahead.
So I will say foreplay is the answer.
Say that.
I think foreplay
Say
is the
that.
answer.
Yes.
That'll get y'all a lot of places.
Absolutely,
for sure.
foreplay is the answer.
For sure. And in your, so this is something. So you're, I don't want to, I'm not aging. You're asking how old your age is.
I already said I'm out of my 20s.
Okay, so you're in your 30s.
I'm actually 30.
You're 30.
30, yep. I had a Death to My 20s party last year. So I am 30.
I love that.
It was so fun.
I love that.
events.
Yeah. So
With
you
their
throw a lot
headache.
of parties and
Yeah, I'm
said
taking
they're
a break from events right now.
you said they're a headache.
They're a headache, beyond a headache.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Yeah. So I heard, and this is a lot of what my other friends tell me, like in your 30s, everything is better. Well, you just got here. So
Yeah, I
it's
just got here.
Yeah, so it's
I'm
still
new
new
here.
for you. Yeah. So I'll check in with you about it.
But I do have a new mindset.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what it is about entering a new era or a new like decade of your life. Like, it is something there that changes like just your thought process. It's like, okay, I'm out of my, because you reflect. You begin to reflect on like, oh wow, I was doing that in my 20s. I was impulsive.
Yeah,
babe, I was cussing people out. I still cuss somebody out right now. But I was just a little more reckless than I am now, just gearing to my late 20s, approaching my, getting into my 30s. I do think it's a wake up call. It's like a beginning of a new year. It's like a fresh start.
Exactly.
And I think that we have to just be okay with reflecting and accepting. Reflect and accept. Reflect and accept, because that's the only way you're going to grow.
Facts. And it's a new opportunity, I think, just for you to kind of rebrand yourself and reinvent yourself, and just to look back in hindsight and say, okay, I'm not doing this. I want my image, even if it's just physical, or even if it's like what the people I want to hang around, or I'm going to have my friends invite them to this, or I'm going to force myself.
I think the people I'm going to hang
else.
around was number one for me.
Okay. Did you change like your circle, or did you like go out to meet new people?
I just got more grateful for the people that have been with me.
Okay, yeah,
and
that's
supported
huge.
me. And sometimes I got, just because of what I do, like as far as me doing events and blogging and podcasting and things like that, I have a lot of people that do want to be my friend. And like I told you, my discernment was off. So I just got more grateful for the people that I can actually trust, people that I had never really had to question.
Yeah.
People that, okay, we might get into it, but we can come together as grown women, like we on Love of Hip Hop, sit down and have some dinner.
Go to brunch.
And
Exactly.
and talk about it and like work through that. And I think a lot of people can't really do that in their friendships or relationships. They don't know how to work through issues with people.
Yeah.
But you got to know who you can give grace to versus people that
just playing with you or something.
yeah,
like that.
versus people that don't necessarily have the best intentions for you.
Right.
And I think that's like the number one thing that I've shifted from my 20s entering into my 30s is who I surround myself with, who I keep close to my heart.
Yeah.
Because those people are who we become. We start picking up their habits, their language, everything,
Yeah, that's true.
Like we literally pick up, subconsciously, we pick up other people's everything, energy, because energy is transferable. It never dies and never goes anywhere. We're sitting here changing energy right now,
Right.
And you just have to be careful with that.
With what you're surrounding yourself with.
Absolutely. Your energy is
and
precious.
Exactly. And you gotta protect it in a way, because you don't want to get too complacent. If you don't want to be complacent, it's kind of like just being intentional, like with what you want to be around. How do you feel about the subject of like new friends? Like, are you just like in the space where you're accepting it, but you're just using more discernment?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a friendly person, period.
Right.
I love to just talk to people.
You always,
know their whole life
social
story.
butterfly,
Literally,
yeah.
Like I'm just I'm
That
just
could be the Sag in you too.
yeah, definitely. Like I'm just that person but I don't let everybody close to me. That's one thing that I stopped doing. Like we have to spend time and years and not years, but like I just have to get to really know a person before I really let them into me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is like this thing like where I don't necessarily trust people as much as I used to. I think that's actually a good thing, but I'm always open to making new friends and networking and enjoying people. I'm always open to that.
Yeah, you just like, okay, I'm gonna take my time with this though. Right. I'm not gonna force.
You're not gonna know everything. You're not gonna know my dark secrets.
Exactly.
when I first meet you, type shit.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, that's gonna take some time.
Right.
Exactly. So I think that's okay. As far as like womanhood goes, it's just a very all-encompassing thing that we encounter in our late 20s because now we're probably more knowledgeable about dating. I don't like this type of man. He gotta. I noticed this off the rip. It's this one question that I asked.
Inconsistency is a big one for me.
Yeah, exactly. Inconsistency.
You think you about to text me and call me when you feel like it? You're gonna see that you're not. You're gonna see that I'm gonna treat your ass.
You block them.
Block.
Exactly. Yeah, block. I know. Yeah, I know what.
One thing about me, I'm gonna block a bitch. Block it down.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks long, ain't it? That looks long, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
As it should be. I mean, I feel I'm a real advocate for protecting your peace. Yes, you know what I mean? Because you can only respond to what you respond to. You know what I mean? Like, don't even give anybody a chance to keep playing in your face.
And being selective. I think one thing about me, like, just as me, as a Sagittarius woman, just speaking freely, it's not always the best thing. Sometimes I lack a lot of tact. And
I like how you said it. I lack a lot of tact. You said it with tact, though. Okay.
Sometimes I lack tact, but I'm learning that sometimes it's okay to speak on this and just be selective and speak on that. Right. You know, everything doesn't have to be said. Everything does not have to be said.
Pick your battles, right? Pick your battles.
Absolutely.
That's true. And it's just a journey. It's just a journey with, like, you know, being creative people, having our outlets, and the microaggressions we might deal with here and there, friendships and family and stuff. And now we at the age where our families are like, so where's the husband? Where's the kids? And stuff like that.
It's like, get out my uterus, please.
Please. Hello.
Please get out my uterus.
You know, like,
my mama swear I'm not gonna have no kids.
Oh my gosh, my cousin,
she swears I'm not.
My cousin, her grandma thinks she a lesbian. And it's just like, grandma, come on now, give this lady some time.
That's hilarious.
Grandma, you ain't been out here. You don't know what it's like, Granny. You know, you just gotta like give people some time. But we just at that age where it's like a shift.
Yeah, it's a shift.
Everything.
I went to a baby shower yesterday. For one of my close friends' Essence, and I was just watching it, and I'm like, damn, should I be freezing my eggs right now?
Yeah.
Like, damn.
A lot of people say that. Like my aunt, her sister-in-law, something like that, she is a nurse, and she was talking about, she was like, young girls, y'all should freeze y'all eggs if y'all don't plan on having kids right now. Because I didn't know up until like a few years ago that when we're like 35, 36, we're
at our peak in our teens.
Exactly. We're considered a geriatric pregnancy at 35.
Geriatric is crazy.
I'm serious. After 35, 40, you are
now I got geriatric pussy. That's crazy to me.
That pussy you need to be put in the home, girl. You need to put that thing in the home, okay?
Wow.
Yes. So, I mean, it's not a bad idea. Okay. Randomly, I just heard you say it.
I'm honestly really think about it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm thinking about it.
I heard you say it, but she's a nurse. She's a labor and delivery nurse, and she says that all the time. So, I mean, I don't know if I would want to do that, but I think it's
something to think about.
It's something to think about if you want to have kids, if you know for sure that you want
at least one child.
Yeah. So I don't think that's
we're in that idea. Like weird stage where people are like going out every weekend versus people are starting families.
Exactly.
I'm just in the middle, like.
You gonna find you I'm gonna call it right now. You gonna find you what about Leo?
Oh my God, why would you say that? That's crazy. I'm actually talking to Leo right now.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Leo.
Hey, Mr. Leo. Shout out to you.
I can see it. Yeah, you need somebody who gonna tame that thing. Girl.
Yeah, I like a real masculine man.
Yeah. Okay, so that's your type, just like real.
I need
like
a big boy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like SZA said.
Like SZA. So you need that type of like strong masculine. I'm gonna take care of it. I got it, boo. Yeah. You know, and it's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing's wrong with that.
It's not wrong with that.
I love masculinity. I don't like toxic masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
I love real masculinity where a man knows this is my position. I run this shit, but my wife really run this shit. That type of dynamic.
Exactly. And it's okay to give up that type of like, I'm not going to say power because people get intimidated by the word power, but it's just like, it's okay to say my girl runs this. Like, she going to take care of that.
And he provides.
I take care of this back here and she going to take care of that.
Yeah. And he makes me feel safe. I think a lot of times that men are like, oh, why is she acting like this? Why is she crazy? And why? It's because you don't create that safe haven for a woman. Once that woman has that safe haven, you're going to get that angel. Yeah. When you create that inconsistent,
she's unsure. She doesn't know how to operate.
She doesn't know how to operate. And she's always on edge. And leave, women. Just leave. If you're confused, just leave. Yeah. That's something I had to learn in my 20s too. Like, just leave. If he's confusing you,
he wants you to be.
That's the sign right there. Like,
because I feel like a man is really going to make sure it like there's no gray area, there is no uncertainty.
He's gonna make sure you know how he feels about you. Period.
He gonna make it real clear.
Yeah.
And I think that's a responsibility a lot of men don't want to accept, because it's just like it's so if you were to do that, you're not gonna have to worry about a woman being sassy or talking back to you, or just blowing up and being super super emotional. She's emotional because she doesn't know. She's trying to get those answers.
Yeah,
and I think that's okay, because that's a woman.
The ambiguity is just too much sometimes.
Like, ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, what's wrong with telling your girl like, hey, it's okay, boo, I got it.
Reassurance.
What's wrong with that? Because
I need a Russell Wilson.
Okay, yeah,
that's what I need.
Ain't nothing wrong with no Russell Wilson.
Nothing wrong with him.
The people who call him corny is just like, all right.
They're losers.
Yeah, let
miserable.
him
be. You can just tell that they have a loving dynamic, and he won't stay off that woman.
He won't.
He will not stay off that lady.
Baby girl about the
fourth one about to pop out. Okay.
About to pop. So why do you think a lot of like men call him corny? Is it because he's doing something they don't do or they wouldn't do? Is it because of her dating history?
I think it's a mixture of all of that. Like, yeah, she did date these men in the past. I always want women to find their happy ending, though. Like, yeah, I dated you, but I left your ass where you were at. I left you where you stood, and I went to find better. I think they call him corny because he doesn't fit the monolith of a black man. And, we have like these biases against our own black people. It's sickening that we can't see somebody for who they are and still label them as black, because we think that black is supposed to be like this gangsta or this hardcore type of man. But he is a very masculine man. Right. Any man that provides and take care of his home, that's a masculine man to me.
For sure. All right. So I do this little thing called This or That. Okay. So we're going to do this little game, and you just tell me, I guess, like what it is that, you prefer. Okay. So TV or movies?
I'm a documentary type of person.
Oh, you like the docs?
Yeah. Okay. I really honestly can't really watch TV because I need something that's like based in real truth. So I'm like a crime person, like true crime.
Okay.
So I'll go with
what kind of movie?
I'll go with movies.
It's like a movie.
Movies.
Okay. Rap or R&B?
Rap.
Who's your favorite artist?
Drake, Nicki, and Future.
Oh, real easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Top 3 for real.
Right. What is your favorite Nicki like era, or her like favorite song?
Favorite Nicki era, Looking Ass Nigga.
Oh.
So this was in her fucking
the desert. Yeah,
Birkin,
exactly,
okay?
Yeah.
She was in her fucking bag.
Exactly. Yeah. No, we love Nicki. I loved. The come up was crazy for me.
Oh Lord, let's talk about it. Kill the DJ.
Yes,
insane.
Piggy, even the 5-star chick.
Yeah.
Oh, that whole era was
Pink Bangs.
Yes, it was crazy for me.
Nothing can top that, though.
Did you say Drake?
Drake, yes.
Did you like this last album?
It wasn't my favorite Drake project. Okay, I will say that. But I think Drake, like when he released the deluxe, I did like the deluxe a lot. The extra Scary Hour songs.
Yeah,
I think Drake has a way of just like tapping into people's emotions and knowing what they want, and knowing especially with what women want.
Right.
Drake can't make a bad song to me. He can't make a bad project to me. It wasn't my favorite work, but it was still good.
Exactly. I didn't care for it. I ain't gonna go Joe Budden on him, but you know,
girl, he gonna be sending you a season to season next.
I'm gonna be put the hell out, okay? But no, it definitely wasn't my favorite, and I'll just leave it there, you know.
But you know, these artists have to keep up with the times, whatever that means.
And I'm gonna give him that grace because it's still Drake.
Yeah, it's still Drake. It's still like,
so I'm not. My boy. Yeah, you can't do that because somebody made a point. It was like if this was like any other artist,
you'll be okay
album,
with that.
It'll be a fire album for them, you know.
And I think that's so true because we judge people the hardest when they have this legacy, like Nicki's last album, like the album she just released on Friday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn. When my first listen on it, I'm like, girl, you spent 5 years working on this. But you know, we have to sit with music, give it a little bit of time, and just understand where they're at in their career too.
Yeah, and what they and in their life, and we can as the artist and consumer. Relationship can be a little, you know, spotty. We can be a little selfish. We can be a little.
But I do want to grow with an artist, and I think Jay-Z has done an amazing job with growing with his particular audience.
Because the people who love Jay-Z, even whether they're our age or like younger, they still love him, and they still going back to listening to like, you know, the Blueprint One, Reasonable Doubt. You know, so they.
That's
love
one of my
him,
favorite albums too.
Reasonable Doubt.
No, Blueprint.
Okay. Yeah, Jay-Z, he's just timeless. He's just one of the GOATs at this point. Absolutely. You can't even deny that. We spoke about this person briefly, but I do want to bring up his album that he released. It's an R&B album that Diddy put out. The compilation. Like, doesn't it suck?
I listened to it a little bit.
Okay.
But I haven't really listened to it, I'm not gonna lie. I heard it was a great album though.
Yeah, unfortunately it's a great album.
Yeah, I heard it was a great album. I do like the song with Jacquees.
Okay.
I like that one a lot. I like that one a lot.
The one, Tiana Taylor, her song, it was so good. It was so good.
I have to listen to that. Yeah. I have to listen because I love good music.
It's like support.
You gotta draw the line of supporting. That's it, unfortunately.
Yeah, you
can't really support these people as people.
So, and that was going to be my other question. Like, do you separate the artist from the art?
See, when it comes to R. Kelly, I deleted his music off my phone.
Okay.
I think it was too much for him. Cause it's like you're singing the songs. It's like, damn, is you talking about a little girl? You know. So it's like I couldn't really fuck with that. But like Kodak Black and like, I do. I guess I do. Yeah. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I think most people do.
That's why these people get like canceled and like written off. You know what I mean? Like, if some things just are.
It's really like a double-edged sword. It really is because it's like, damn, I do enjoy this music, but. Yeah, I can't necessarily fuck with them as a person.
I can't listen. I can't bump. Seems like you ready. You know what I mean? Like I can't.
You know what?
I can't do that.
I can't.
It's cringy. Yeah, it's cringy, and it's just like
it's cringe.
Yeah, I can't listen to that. But you know, we just in this climate where it's like, man, you know, all the good artists and the good songs, you know, they're coming with this subconscious guilt where we're just like, oh, I don't want to listen to this because of this person. You know what I mean?
And it sucks to say, but a lot of people faves have these issues.
Or have these stories
too, because they're human and discernment once again.
Yeah, so. It comes out at some point.
Yeah.
So that concludes our little game of this and that. But going back to just like womanhood as a whole, like what do you see yourself like changing in the future? Like right now, like what are you focusing on like moving forward?
That's a great question. I think just being like certain in who I am and just evolving and continuing to tune out the noise and just because like we said previously, like this is my soft voice. Previously, like how we said, like just being a Black woman who is opinionated and who has a platform and things like that, like continuing to do that and continue to be who I am and saying fuck everybody else. Amen. I think like that's the only way I can be okay with myself. I can't care about how other people perceive me. I do take on feedback from people that know me and love me and things like that, but just me being present in this world and being Diamond, Monet Bell, who I am, I have to be okay with who I am at the core, and being able to sleep at night. So womanhood for me is definitely just identity. I'm always rooting for my identity This is who I am.
Your voice.
My voice, my perspectives, my opinion. That's what my womanhood looks like. My womanhood also looks like giving back, being empathetic and compassionate towards my friends, strangers on the street.
Love that, yeah.
Just being a good person,
right.
period. And I don't take womanhood for granted at all. Mm-hmm. I think it's a beautiful thing to be a woman.
Right.
God has granted us many gifts.
Yes.
And I just want to be able to just be an influence and use my talents, my skill, my personality for the betterment of society.
Yeah. And women just like a
just
little
women alike. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
So I love what you said earlier. You said you give back and you help a lot of students with like college and career.
My kids love me. Yes.
Okay. So do you work for a school or do you just kind of like
I work for a program.
A program.
A program.
Okay. And you help them get tools to go to college.
Absolutely. We gave away $80,000 last year in scholarships. So yes, shout out to that. Shout out to all my kids that's out here working and trying to get to that next level, because when I was a student, I was a first generational college kid.
Okay.
I did not know what life encompassed or the resources that were out there.
Absolutely.
So it's just a full circle, just being able to give back to kids. And like when you work with kids, you're really doing it for them.
Right.
You're really doing it for them, because it's not easy. These kids are not easy, especially in this generation growing up.
Right.
And I just love to be able to be in that position to be I guess
a part of their journey a little bit.
Yeah, being a part of their journey, and they will look back and appreciate it.
For sure, because a lot of these programs, like you said, aren't known. So they can look back and say, hey, it's because of, Miss Diamond. I was able to get this scholarship. Now I'm 20-something years old and I don't have all this debt on me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And college is it's just getting more and more expensive.
Absolutely.
So I think that's really dope. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm so
open
to helping,
yes.
and like any type of like service around the city.
Okay.
Like I really do want to get a little bit
beautiful.
More,
absolutely,
more
I will be in contact with you. Then.
Okay,
we have so much going up. We just had like this really successful college fair, and so definitely.
So a lot of college like the scouts and everything, or they just come around.
Yeah, doing like on-site acceptance. So it was dope.
And as far as like your podcast in itself, was the need for a community of women or just misogyny and stuff, like what was the driving force for your pod?
That's a good question.
You keep saying that. I'm doing that on these notes.
It's giving Mopra. Okay, Mopra in this bitch. But the driving force has definitely been, I guess, everything that I've spoken about today. This has been a great podcast. I don't think anybody has ever really picked my brain like this.
I'm a little rusty, girl.
I'm a little rusty myself. But the driving force has definitely been identity, womanhood, depicting what misogyny looks like, growth, development, good pussy. I'm just playing.
Amen.
No,
you ain't playing.
But sex education, like just everything that a Black millennial woman, how they would navigate life, and career, friendships, love, all of that.
And I love that for you, and I love that you're so passionate about it, because it's refreshing. We need that. We need that.
So refreshing.
And this is not to knock the gender war podcast about, women don't look like this, so they deserve this, or men ain't paying this. It's nice that you have like the substance behind it. You know what I mean?
And I just always want to create a safe space.
Absolutely.
People don't feel judged, and people can be open-minded as possible. That's my thing. Open-mindedness.
Open-mindedness, and because how can we grow?
How can we grow without being open-minded?
Exactly. If we're stuck in this, I just want life to look like this, because the world is always changing. The world around us, people are always changing. So we got to give ourselves that grace to then, change and stuff like that. Being from Chicago, like, do you think we tend to, because I'm assuming like you've traveled a little bit here and there, or have you gotten out? Okay. So you've been to like Atlanta and New York and stuff like that. So like do you think like us in here in Chicago, we live like a different or like a special type of experience, whether it's like just our everyday?
I have 3 things to say about Chicago.
Give it to us, girl, because I already know.
Chicago is a dog eat dog city, or whatever the phrase is. I don't
Crabs
really
in a barrel.
Yeah, it really is that. and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it is. When you go to Atlanta, when you go to LA, and I've been to those places many times, it's people that are wishing to connect, wishing to know what you do. They're so interested in who you are as a person.
Really?
And how they can connect you with this person. Chicago's not like that. It's a very gatekeeping type of city. Really? I hate to say it. Like, especially if you're a creator in the industry in Chicago, because our creative scene looks totally different from Atlanta and LA. Like, we're really like an industrial city. You don't see celebs come here and like move here and stay here and stuff like that. They always move away. But we have some dope talent in the city. Like, we have some dope creators, but we also have a lot of people that tend to gatekeep resources. And I hate to say it, but we also have people that support and celebrate. So I'm not taking away from the people that actually do support. But Chicago is a different city. It's a hustle hard ass city. You got to do it on your own. We have great food, and that's number 2.
Yes.
Really good food, like amazing food.
To this day.
And number 3, compared to other cities, I've been thinking about like just moving, because
really,
I just don't think we have the industry for what
you're pursuing,
who we are.
Yeah.
I don't think we have that industry yet, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think it's coming.
I think it'll take some time.
I think we're at like the beginning phases of us creating that industry, like Atlanta and LA and you know those places have, because Chicago is an amazing city. Like, I can't even believe we're in Illinois. Honestly,
exactly.
Chicago is a state to me,
exactly.
Literally.
And it's I agree, because I hear a lot of people say that, whether they're in music, the models, the actresses, and stuff like that. Like, I hear a lot of people saying that, and I hope we can create and cultivate that here. I would be really excited to just witness it, not even be a part of it.
We have to stop being competitive with each other.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to what you were saying about, like, not even just how women could be, but just how everybody is. Everybody wants to be that one person on top of the music scene, on the, creating content scene, things like that. We just should really find people that think like us, and be okay with saying, all right, this is not our priority. Being number 1, we are just going to lift each other up.
We're here to collaborate and not compete. And
exactly.
I think more of that.
Yeah.
There's more of that.
Yeah. So I've been to those cities, so you've been to like other like live shows and stuff. And
I actually went to Revolt World in Atlanta back in September.
Oh, okay.
And I actually went to the BET Awards too back in back in June.
Yeah.
And 2 different experiences that have definitely shown me like, oh wow, like this is dope.
Different.
Like I'm around all these talented people. And I watched the Carisha show live, and
the one with Ari.
The one with Ari. I watched it live, and it really did inspire me. Yeah. Like, when you go to LA, when you go to Atlanta, like the Black Hollywood, you get inspired. Especially if you create content.
That's got to be so inspiring. Yeah.
If you create content, I got to network with so many like-minded people.
Right.
And I was genuinely motivated, genuinely inspired. And I think Chicago is lacking that in a sense.
Right. And I don't think we hold a lot of those things privy, because a lot of our like fairs and a lot of the things that we do is like the history of Chicago, food in Chicago, and that's cool. But like, as far as like you said, like those type of things, we should definitely work a little bit more to create. And
like, support your creators that are in Chicago.
Exactly.
Support us.
Exactly.
Because it's honestly like you don't get much of this in Chicago, because it's not really a creative industry here. Like, it is, don't get me wrong. Yeah. Chicago has a creative industry, but it's so minuscule compared to LA and Atlanta and New York and things like that. Like, we really just have to love on each other and give each other that support. And I want to see more of that, and stop being intimidated. Like, if you're intimidated by people, that's a problem. That's a you thing.
That's a you thing. Yeah. And it is going to hold you back.
It's going to hold you back.
I don't think a lot of that has ever helped anybody, or
no,
if it has, shout out to you. But, but I don't think like it helps being like envious or condescending to other people in their work. Me personally, I would be real excited to work with other content creators. You know what I mean?
Especially women. I always work with women. I've always had a woman team. Always had a woman behind the scenes of everything that I did.
Absolutely. And in Chicago, I like I said, I've never been to those cities in those spaces. So it's dope that you've done that. And you already on your way, girl. I just hope you keep
am I
going.
really? Because I'll be on a toilet like, it's hard out here for a pimp.
You be like that pop ass lady, just like Child, I'm tired.
Yes, that meme. I'm literally that meme.
No, Diamond, a lot of people, especially in Chicago, let's start there, can't say that they've done those things.
I am blessed. You know how we just always want more? The soul, the spirit just wants more.
And you probably left the BET Awards. You probably left Carisha's pod. Like, okay, what next? You know, but at the same time,
not even season that moment. And
exactly.
I think that's a great point that you brought up, because I am in the phase and just stage of my life where I'm just grateful. I wake up and I'm like, I'm grateful just for being here, God. Thank you. Thank you for everything I have. Amen. I think a lot of people are not grateful enough.
For where they
don't understand what they have. Like, you're so blessed.
Yeah.
You could be anywhere. You could be having an illness. You can be dying.
Right.
But we all have life, and God has given us a purpose to live life, experience life, to eat our favorite food, to laugh. That shit is a blessing. And I never take that shit for granted.
Amen. And it just brings you back to a cozy space.
Absolutely.
Of like, I'm just thankful.
So no matter what I have, I'm grateful. And
there's a lot of people that don't have that.
Absolutely. Because we're just such in this like microwave generation and convenient generation where we see on social media like, oh my gosh, she has the latest Louis Vuitton. You don't know what that lady probably sucked 10 dicks for that. You don't know what that lady did to get that Louis. You know what I mean? Like, we just have to be grateful. Sorry, I'm on her podcast talking reckless. Y'all have to excuse me.
No, you not. Have you seen Terry's episode?
Oh yes, girl, I have. We just have to be grateful for like what we have in this moment and who we are as people and evolve ourselves. Nobody can fuck with you when you know who you are.
Amen.
Period.
And there's never gonna be another you.
Never.
You know what I mean?
I know that. These bitches know that. I'm just playing.
No, stop saying that, because you're not. I'm tired of you doing that, because you're not playing. You're so serious. And that's okay. That is okay. Yeah. But I want you to know. Yeah, I want you to know. Like, this is my first time. Like, we're meeting in person, literally. Right? So just being like pretty new to this. Like, when I think about like podcasting in Chicago, we know I'm more west side. So, you know, like
290 Queen.
Yeah, we thinking, you know, South Side Chicago is a state of its own.
It really
and
is.
We think West Side is a state.
Chicago is such a segregated city.
It is.
And you wouldn't even think that because it's such a big, diverse city.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's so segregated. Like, the black people are all south or they're on the west side.
Exactly.
They're not north.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
They're nowhere near the Gold Coast, child.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Wherever the bridge can be let up.
Okay, Lori,
you know, Lori, she made that real evident a couple years ago.
Literally.
But, you know, I think it just us being in the city, like, no matter where you from, just looking in the podcast space, your name comes up, Terry's name comes up. You know what I mean? That's a blessing,
because these dudes from Philly, Larry and Lionel, shout out to Larry and Lionel podcast. I don't know if you guys ever heard of them. They said they actually were, because they're doing a tour, like a podcast tour.
So,
and they Googled like podcasts in Chicago, and I came up. So that, I don't know. I be having so much self-doubt.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. Like, just a vulnerable moment right now.
Right.
I have a lot of self-doubt. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares about the stuff that I create. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of creators deal with that and suffer with that internally, like imposter syndrome and things like that.
Oh, for sure.
Man, it's
like,
hard.
How did I get here?
And it's like, damn, some people really do care. And some people actually do fuck with it. So it's like.
And I'm one of them. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to say that.
Wait, Gen Z is doing this.
We can't do that in Chicago. I be telling people like, I ain't doing that.
This is the hard. I don't know why does Gen Z do this. This is it, Gen Z. What the fuck is that?
We can't do that.
You can't do that in Chicago.
Yeah,
okay,
y'all can do that in LA. But I want you to know that, because it's true. Like, you do come up and you say, this is what we should do in Chicago. I'm going to just put it out there. You know, I don't want you to be the martyr of it.
I don't want to be.
I know. But
I want to be me.
But do what you can, and don't stress yourself out about
it.
You know, but
and Chicago, I just read something today that said, like, can I pull it up really quick?
For sure.
It's something very simple. I posted it on my story. It says, things of quality have no fear of time.
Right.
Because sometimes I be feeling like, damn, I gotta get this done. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I have to release. I have to curate. I have to create. And it's just like, it's like okay, baby. Solange took 8 hours for a seat at the table. I mean, 8 years.
Oh, wow.
For a seat at the table. Great things genuinely take time. Beyonce's tour took 4 years
this to
tour, curate. Yes.
Ava
Yeah,
DuVernay.
absolutely.
She ain't picked up a camera
Yes.
until she was 30 years old. Now she's nominated for Oscars and things like that.
The next podcast you have, please talk about that. Like the fear of somebody entering their 30s and rushing against time.
Yeah.
Because I struggle with that. A lot of my friends struggle with it. Like, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here. But we really are where we're supposed to be. If you are true to your alignment, if you know God has a plan and a purpose and a destination for you, that's where you're supposed to be.
Exactly. And just trust it. Trust the process and not giving up. You know what I mean? I feel like it's always going to be why I should give up versus why I shouldn't. That why I should give up is always going to be long. That list is always going to be long. But you can't focus on that. You got to focus on the purpose and where you want to be.
I love a good success story.
Exactly. So I definitely think you should keep going. I'm looking forward to the content, and doing more and hopefully working with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a great time on your podcast.
Absolutely.
You're a great host. You know how to navigate and transition and conversations. Okay, don't play with her. Toot toot. But I really did have a good time. I think we covered so many broad topics that a lot of people don't ask me about a lot of times. They always want to focus on dating and sex. And I'm just like, this is something really refreshing. I think you have a great point of view.
Thank you.
And great questions. So.
Appreciate that. I figured, like I said, I watched a lot of your content, so I figured you have enough of the bad.
Thank you. I'm so tired of those conversations. Thank you.
I figured you had enough of those, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna
this has been great. I can't wait to see the final product of it. I've been very grateful to be here.
Tom gonna take care of us on the edits.
Okay, Tom. Shout out to Tom.
Shout out to Chicago Podcast Studio for all of its great accommodations and everything. Tell us where we can find you. Tell the audience where they can find you and what you have coming up next.
You guys can find me at Diamonds Dosage on Instagram, the Dosage brand on Twitter, where I talk most of my shit. And I have a lot in storage for you guys. So shout out to me and what I'm working on, because it's not easy. It's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I have a lot of astrology content coming out and more of just womanhood content as well. So thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate you. It's been such a safe space.
Yes, girl.
And I am grateful. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Think Responsibly, the podcast. It's our first one back in a while, so we're looking to continue, keep these vibes going. Go ahead and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music, and just tune in. We'll be in touch. Thank you. Peace.
Cheers.